Hello, hello. Gary from Lightyear here. I hope we're all well. Still waiting on a few more, but that said, it is 1 o'clock, so let's get into it. I should have a co-host joining me, but he hasn't, so I'll persevere. I'm Gary from Lightyear. Nice to meet you. Thanks for attending today. We do a weekly demo of Lightyear called Lightyear in 30 minutes. For context, Lightyear had like a demonstration 4 years ago when we started. It probably was very easily demoed in half an hour, but we've built out a lot of functionality and it's kind of grown into a much bigger beast. So to achieve it in 30 minutes is a bit of a challenge, bit of a personal challenge for me. So I guess what we'll do today is I'll take you through a little bit of who we are, where we came from, what problems do we solve, and then we'll just get into Lightyear and we'll show you what it's all about. Okay. Hard and fast. Lightyear is sort of this second foray into accounts payable automation from our founders, Roger and Chris. Roger and Chris Gregg founded a different piece of software back in 2009, early days of cloud, where they created InvitBox, the world's first cloud AP automation tool. But good for me. They're back. We're doing it again. We're Lightyear this time around. We're only 4 years young. And yeah, hungry, both eager to grow the company, grow our client base, grow the product, and we've achieved an awful lot in the last 4 years, as mentioned. Where there were sort of 6 or 7 of us 4 years ago, we're now up to, I think, 65 these days, 5,500 companies-ish using us around the world. We're based, or I'm based here in Sydney, Australia, where we have a sales and support presence. We're headquartered in the United Kingdom, in Belfast specifically, where all of our sort of dev, tech, sales, support, etc. Is over there. Here is some of our customers, few recognizable logos there, and pain points. So what, like any good product, Lightyear was born to solve a problem, right? It was identified, everyone's got this problem, and the software is a solution for that. If you're arguably sitting on a Lightyear demonstration like this, you're probably going to recognize some of these. And certainly if you are recognizing some of these, you're in the right spot. So Lightyear, what is Lightyear? Well, Lightyear is essentially 2 modules in the software. Where we started was accounts payable automation. So think invoices come in, data extraction, coding, approvals thereof, and so on. But the feedback was, wouldn't it be good if you did your amazing approvals thing before the orders were placed for those that need it? So we got into, we launched the purchase order module. And that is, yeah, for those that need it, raise a purchase order, send it off for approval, all of that kind of steps. You could use Lightyear just for purchasing. You could use Lightyear just for accounts payable. But regardless of how you're using it, there's a whole sort of cross-platform feature set, namely the line item data extraction, which kind of feeds all the other features. Extensive reporting, budgets will be coming next year, just a little bit of roadmap for you. And next year, the big one will be our 3rd module, which will be payments and expenses. So think moving money around, paying your suppliers, reimbursing staff, virtual cards, that sort of thing. You'll have to excuse the background noise. There's a bit of moving going on in our building, I think. So AP automation, I'm going to start with. I'm going to lead with that. It might seem a bit back to front, but for the main reason that most people looking at Lightyear will be after AP automation, and then the minority will be looking for, will be using purchase orders today and are looking for a digital solution for that. So we'll do that last. So when you register a Lightyear account, let's say Gary's construction company wants to use Lightyear and registers Gary's buildings at Lightyear.cloud or something like that. That's an email address when you register your account, and Lightyear is essentially your mailbox for your invoices. After a 30-day trial, or during a 30-day trial, you shouldn't need 30 days to make your mind up, I suppose, but we offer a 30-day trial, and then once you're convinced, you would communicate to all your suppliers, dear suppliers, as of date X, you should, if you want to get paid, send everything to this email address and tick the little box that says, send attachment. All right, the attachment piece is important due to the sort of primary extraction of Lightyear, the method that we do. So what Lightyear does is, through a process called templating, it's going to open a PDF document. It's going to know where to look for a label, namely tax invoice, and then it's going to know that this many pixels to the right or the top margin of that return these characters, which would be then the tax invoice number, right? It does that on a massive scale. It's reading the data inside that PDF. And the reason why that's our primary extraction is, one, accuracy. That's 100% accurate. We're reading data that was put there by a system. Secondly is the detail at which we can extract. So think line by line extraction. We also split them into like product codes and quantities, unit costs, etc. But last but not least, we it's the speed at which we can do it. This all takes, well, it's in real time. It takes under a second to extract a document to that accuracy and degree of detail. Now, documents are coming direct from supplier. No human is doing anything yet. Then Lightyear knows, okay, this invoice should be approved by this person or this team of people. If it's over a certain amount, notify this person. If it's over another amount, then maybe these two people need to sign it off. It's however you've set it up. Approvals of whatever that looks like happens. Then naturally we sit in front of all your favorite accounting systems and ERP systems. So think, I guess, small end of town, you've got Xero. Big end of town, you've got like NetSuite, okay, and everyone in between. So we get data in there. Lightyear sits in front of these systems. Then Lightyear has essentially an online archive. It's going to store everything for the 8 years that we sort of keep it for. So that's kind of AP automation narrow view. This is where Lightyear sits in your process. You've got suppliers at this end. You've got an accounting platform at this end. And then everyone sort of collaborates in Lightyear in your organization in the middle. So product demo. This is our website. I think, seeing as you're all on this demo, I'm assuming you've found the website already. But if you wanted to start, click free trial. Registration takes 2 minutes. If you wanted a one-on-one demo, hopefully you won't need one after today. But if you did, click there, book a demo, and then top right, if you log in as an existing user, I'm logging in just Google Chrome. I'm just in a regular browser, okay? Being cloud-based, you just access it through a browser. I've just realized I'm logged in as the incorrect username that I want. I want that one. If you've got multiple entities, this is going to be your experience. So here I have a whole bunch of companies. These could be my clients. If I'm an accounting firm or a consultant or something, these could all be my clients. Today, I'm going to go into this account and play in here. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to be greeted with this dashboard. Now, as an admin user, I'm an admin user. I'm going to be starting off with this dashboard here, but fear not. This might not mean anything to you. I get it. You've never seen Lightyear before. So let me jump ahead and we'll go straight to this screen here where I'll talk a little bit about what you're looking at and what is actually happening. So this is obviously a fake Lightyear account. I can't show you a real one. And basically we've got collapsible ribbon down the left based on what permissions or what role you are dictates which buttons you see here, right? We've got an approval workflow at the top. We have, these are in panel 1, 3 panels, 1, 2, and 3. Panel 1 is documents that have been emailed by basically a heap of fake suppliers. I've just got accounting systems sending the same invoices in every day. These are documents that have been emailed to this by my pretend suppliers, and then down here with that one at the top selected, this is what is extracted, okay? Here we've got the attachment, just as it would have been generated by their system. Very simple, right? Basically what's going on here is I'm using, I guess the first feature I'll show you is this thing called departments. Now departments dictate visibility. So here only users in the stock department would see any bills relating to stock, okay? If I was in the office department, I wouldn't see the stock invoice. I would only see documents in my department as well, okay? Without department switched on, everyone can just see everything. It doesn't affect essentially where these costs land on your P&Ls. Because all it's controlling is visibility. Sorry, this background noise is really distracting. Right, so Lightyear, you can see we're extracting invoice number, bill date, due date. There's no PO number on this one, but if there was, it would be there. And then you can see Lightyear is going, I guess, a few leaps forward. So it's getting product codes extracted, descriptions, quantities, and unit prices. It then uses this accurate data to then calculate its own row totals and then obviously sums them all up. And these totals here are calculated by Lightyear. They're not extracted. What Lightyear does then is compares the two. It does read this, but it doesn't present it anywhere. And if there was a difference, it would flag. So if it got the tax wrong or something similar, touch wood, that would never happen. It's going to go, hey, my calculations are different to what the suppliers put here. So Lightyear is not just your average extraction tool where it's just grabbing what's on the invoice and assumes it's correct and it needs to be validated. No, Lightyear does its own maths. Ideally, well, here you'll see actually a good example. Lightyear does all your coding for you, so it knows that these two rows contain these characters here, and Lightyear knows then to apply these tax codes from your Xero or your QuickBooks or your Sage or your MyOb or whatever it is you're using. And it's been told once and once only that this supplier should be coded to this ledger code. All right. Now, if Gary wanted this last item to be coded to something different, like repairs, just for funsies, I can make that change, and Lightyear is going to remember that this product from this supplier is going to be or should be coded to this moving forward, and so it will just maintain doing that. I guess user experience. A user would log in. I select the document at the top. I see that Lightyear has coded everything correctly, and really the ideal situation after a week's use or something like that would be the first human interaction should be this green approve button. No pictures, no scanning, no paper. If you start with paper, you're not automating anything, right? The goal here is low touch. And Lightyear will have moved that document from the approvals tab through to the review tab. All right, so Gary in the relevant department is just going to go, yep, that's okay, approve that one, green button. It's going to select the next one. That one's good, green button. This is a good example of Lightyear price checking. So I might have agreed pricing with my stationery provider here. We can see the bright green cells are the correct price. Red cell is bad. It's an overcharge. But the undercharge here is in dark green too, as if to say, hey, Lightyear, or Gary, let's order some more of that. I'll get a few of these through the workflow. So your managers are managing this bit. Review, this is a two-step approval process. To be honest, most people using Lightyear are two steps. It's somebody approving, making the decision, and then the next person just sort of checking. So this might be Gary in accounts or the offsite bookkeeper, internal, external, doesn't matter. We're just in a cloud through a website. Gary's going to put his bookkeeper hat on now. I'm going to go, why did that user change that GL codes? That they shouldn't have done that. They can change that back, and then when they're happy, they're going to use the same green button that you'll see a trend now. It does everything in Lightyear. Very easily trained Lightyear. So you're just going to go checking, coding. Yep, that's good, good. And these are all moving to a tab called signed off, where I guess nothing can be edited here. This is essentially the paper tray in your desk. That is, I know everything in this tray is approved by the relevant manager. It's been checked by me or a member of the team, and it's ready to be exported into the relevant system. Once a week or whatever your process is being, you can select 1, 2, or obviously as many as you like, all, and export to, in this case, Sage Intacct, but this would read MYOB, NetSuite, QuickBooks, Xero, whatever it is you're exporting to. Lightyear will export that data into those systems. When those systems tell Lightyear that that data has been received successfully, Lightyear is going to move them down here into an online archive where they're going to remain for the remainder of the financial year that was extracted, plus 7 years, so up to 8 years, keeping you nice and compliant. Now, the archive 4 years ago used to be called filing cabinet. That's what we replace. But really now we've kind of gone all out. It's had a bit of a decent facelift where you can go show me maybe all bills at a document level that regardless of the status, I want to see everything from the beginning of last month. If I just do that, it's a very general search. You'll see my results coming up the top in panel 1. Lightyear is showing you exactly where they are in the workflow. This one's in the archive, it's been exported. This one's in signed off, it's about to be exported, and so on. But there's my total. Here's all my results. And I guess what I'm showing you here is this is true of any of your users, right? You don't have to open up your accounting or ERP system to all of your users because they can just do all of this in Lightyear, keeping the accounting platform between the finance team and directors, right? If you wanted to export the result of an archive search, you can just use the same green button that does everything, and then Lightyear is going to populate that in the relevant format. A more specific search might be, I want to see invoice 123456, or indeed, show me everything I've bought from Advisor Printing within a period. Sort of out the box kind of search parameters here. Maybe I only want to see ones that have not been exported, or the opposite, only ones that have been exported. Maybe I want to see not all the documents, but I want to see the particular in the lines. Okay, so you can get really granular. How many Coronas did my restaurant buy over 2021, right? Or 2022, actually, coming up to the end of the year. Right down to specific product codes, line descriptions. You could do ranges. Show me all bills that are within a certain range. Everything for my, say, marketing department. These are just text labels, the departments. You can call them whatever you like. So basically, there shouldn't be anything that you can't report on. All right. So if I go reports, here I've got a heap of like out the box reports. Now, I'm not going to sit and read all these to you. I'm sure you're all capable of that. But basically, as well, you can create your own reports. So if you've got a certain metric in your business or at your location or your store or your venue or whatever it is, and every Monday you look back at the previous week to find out the purchase figure on bananas or something like that, create your own reports and just you'll be able to click it every week and find the same thing. It should all be very, very easy. What to do if an invoice, of course, is not good to pay? Naturally, if I wanted to query something, maybe Charlie's Angels have overcharged me something here, I can actually communicate with my suppliers direct from Lightyear. Maybe I can say, need credit for pipe XXX. Whenever you email a document out of Lightyear to a team member or a supplier or whoever it is, just any nominated address, it's going to attach the document to the email. And if they reply, it's going to sort of auto change to be the email address of the person that was logged in and sent the email in the first place. That document, by the way, has moved from approvals now to a tab called disputed, where it will remain until presumably the credit note is also emailed to your Lightyear account, and then use the same green button, again, easily trained, to then move that back to approvals, where you can then also bulk approve. Let's pretend this is my invoice, that's my credit note, bulk approve them both, sending them both along their merry way towards the accounting platform. If I was unsure if maybe some goods arrived, let me just grab this stock one here. Maybe I should ask somebody a question, and I can do so by just @tagging. So I can say, Kendall Brown, how did you get on with this stock or whatever I want to ask him, right? When you ask somebody a question or mention them, they're going to get pinged in a few different places. So here, Gary Sage has messaged Gary Mallet to me that I need to get a credit for something on this bill, and I can click that and it will take me to the specific bill. Here's all of people that have mentioned me. If I had any specific approval tasks there, which I don't, let me just show you what that looks like. That one, send one to myself. Here you go. I've got a notification up there. and I can go approve, reject, or unassign this, or indeed reply to anything down here. I can also opt in to have these emailed to me as well. So again, it will email the document. These tasks can also be automated using various things. Like this cleaning company has been taught by, or Lightyear has been taught that if a bill arrives with cleaning company, from cleaning company, with this phrase on it, which is part of the address, if I just show you what it looks like. So someone said, unique to this supplier for this location is that Zenith Tower A thing, right? Lightyear then knows to code it a certain way and then send an automated task to a specific user, in this case, Gary Sage. Now's probably a good time for the mobile app to be introduced as well. So I have Mrs. Kendall there, and I know he's out to lunch. His phone's just gone ping, and it said Gary's mentioned you on a bill, and you can click on that notification. And I'll just show you an animation of this, and it'll show the invoice. He can swipe right to approve it, swipe left to add notes or reject it, unassign it, assign it to someone else. It's essentially, the Lightyear app is a very light companion to the greater sort of Lightyear portal. Very useful for those industries where sort of you have people in the field or large teams on the move, like construction or maybe aged care, home care, that sort of thing. If there was a stock bill and I was tracking inventory in a separate system to my accounting platform, I could use the add to inventory button here to make a copy of it. So we've copied that there. I've not clicked the approve button because it's not good to pay yet, but it's essentially put it in a secondary queue where this is basically saying signed off is the queue to get it into, in this case, Sage, the accounting platform. But here I'm tracking inventory in a sort of a point of sale. Maybe I'm a pharmacy or a retail store, hospitality, something like that. I can then, just the same experience, select all and export to that other system for your inventory formats. Stock heavy businesses love Lightyear because of the accuracy of the extraction. We can get the line detail, product codes, and pricing can be updated very quickly rather than typing in row after row. Let me jump to statements. So month end comes around, supplier statements start come through. Here I got one on the 8th of December from my cleaning company. And this one's displaying because it has not been reconciled. Okay, I'll explain what's happening here. Here I've got a massive 8-page statement. I mean, granted, I don't think this company would be supplying me anymore if this was true to life, but Lightyear is extracting this bill number, this date, and the total, and then it's using that accurate data to then go and find these documents. All right. So it's saying I've got that, it's in the archive, that one, it's in the archive, I don't have that one, I don't have that one, that one's in the archive, and so on. This a very big example. This would take so long to have reconciled this. Lightyear's just done it in about 1 second. If the statement arrives and everything's okay, it just won't appear at the top here. It's done its job. And if I include reconciled statements, we should see, yeah, there's one. Charlie's Angels has sent theirs in. We've got all 4 documents. Happy days. If some are missing, you can, of course, send the statement back to the supplier, and Lightyear is going to pre-populate this in an email where on second click, it will basically list the extracted invoice number and date of any documents that are missing. And so Lightyear can request those, or you can request them direct from Lightyear. Their accounts receivable team will just go into their system, release copies of the bills that are missing to the email address that they have on file, which will be your Lightyear account. These will land in approvals within 1 second, all coded, all accurate. It might be even that somebody got notified, and you should see your accounts payable approvals and ultimately payments become really, really short. Okay. And you'll get benefits like early settlement discounts, things like that. Let me just activate peer purchase order matching. Spend the last 5 minutes on purchase orders. If I can remember where, there it is. All right, I want all of these to be matching criteria, and if something doesn't match, I want these to Copy. Suggested. Right, purchase orders. If you want to see purchase orders or use Lightyear purchase orders, just switch on the purchase order feature. It's off by default because most people maybe don't use purchase orders. But for those that do, this is going to blow you away. So obviously many systems you can raise a purchase order and send it, but there wasn't really an approval, right? So here I've got one in my draft folder, which I just created today. Here I can select delivery addresses, maybe a delivery date, all the stuff you would expect. If I know that I need a certain person to approve my purchase order, then I can select them there. They'll be notified just using the same channels that I just shared for the invoice. I need to add something else onto my PO. And then I can go same green button, send this for approval. All right. Let's say Gary's boss needs to approve this. Gary's boss can obviously override whatever and change, or indeed mention that person in the notes again, and it will notify them. Again, it's about collaboration as much as approvals and things too. Once it's been approved, it's here. It's still not been ordered, but then the relevant person could just go order now. This is going to pop up with a confirmation. Here you can override this sort of thing. You can download a copy, God forbid, print a copy of the purchase order. I'll just send that now. And once it's in ordered, we'll fast forward quickly the next day where maybe we need to receipt the stock, right? So if that's part of your process, you can enter a goods received note or GRN. That would be the reference number. Partial deliveries are supported. Green truck, the full delivery. Orange truck, partial delivery. We'll just fly through this. There you can upload and paperclip to any document in Lightyear, any supporting documents, be it a spreadsheet or a JPEG or whatever. We're going to say good times. Everything has arrived here. What I'm going to do now a little bit, open up Zero, where I have created a copy. This is the purchase order number that's going to match. And I'm going to be the supplier here and email this to the email address I have on hand for my customer. And I'm going to send it as an attachment. Let's send that now. If I go back to approvals, you should see, not yet. If you keep your eyes where I'm waving my mouse now, guys, if I click refresh in 1, 2, 3, click, there it is. And you can see the extraction displaying long before the image over on the right. It's done its price checking, it's done all the coding, but also it's matched these rows. Something's wrong with the top row. Exception handling is really, really easy. It's going to make it so much easier for your users because you're going to click Bill PO match and you'll see green cells are good, right? Green is good, red, danger. So what's wrong here? There's something wrong with the unit price and ultimately the row amount. To cast our eyes, we should be paying $22 on our purchase order, but the bill says $24. So the supplier has overcharged us, and Lightyear is basically saying then, well, it was almost right, but something's wrong with the price. And so a human can then go in and make a decision very, very quickly as to, yep, I'm going to match it. I can cancel this, jump out of it. And that would be, of course, the point where you would go and email the invoice back to the supplier saying, hey, you've overcharged me by $2.08 on my recycled paper there. All right. That is, of course, reflected in the purchase order workflow as well. If I just go back to ordered, we should see 170. That's it. Yep. That's all matched up there, but a human does need to close that manually. And in doing so, we should see that purchase order disappear from the ordered tab where it's going to be filed away in the completed tab, ready just for sort of being audited in the future. Right, without this turning into a full-blown training course, that is Lightyear in 30 minutes. If you've got any more questions, by all means, find me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. My life is spent on LinkedIn. Or indeed, I'll be following up, obviously, after this, once the recording's ready. But if you've got any questions now as well, something's on the tip of your tongue, or you think I've missed something, you'd like to see something again, maybe, just type it in the little chat box in the webinar software, and I'll happily take any questions now. And that's exactly 1:30. Look at that timing. Proud of that. If there are no questions, we'll just say thank you very much and have a lovely day and a Merry Christmas for those that celebrate it. Hope you're all going to get some downtime. Doesn't seem like Lightyear's letting up this year. December has been really busy. Let me just type thanks all. You're welcome, Kylie. My absolute pleasure. Just check the questions section. Nothing in there. Chats. Cool. Well, look, you're going to get my email address this afternoon anyway, or find me on LinkedIn. Send me a chat on LinkedIn, and yeah, it'll obviously get me in my pocket, and I'm happy to field anything. Did you like what you see? Is it going to solve what you're trying to solve? If you've got any like really niche curly scenarios as well, like problem suppliers, I love those. I like trying to be sort of tripped up. I do about 1,000 of these a week, so it's nice to mix it up. All right, if that's that, I will end the recording now.